Morning YouTube. Hey, this is Home Handyman again. We're going to pick a project for the day. We'll shoot a video on it today. I got a couple things in mind. First thing that I did this morning is I took down that back scenery that I was telling you that I got, and I replaced it with this one up here that my son gave me. It says Mac Tools. I like it. This is a nice banner. Okay, moving on. There was a question on the forum after I put up that Davis & Wells bandsaw. I made a comment quite a while back, so I went ahead and I did a video. I'll probably release it today or in the morning, telling you the whole story behind, the Davis & Wells bandsaw. Davis & Wells went into business in 1935 to about 1968, and they made industrial-sized, incredibly well-built machines. Anyway, moving on. So the question on the forum, I addressed this I think in one of the videos, is that, well, that's got to be your favorite tool. Well, it is one of my favorite tools. I don't have a particular favorite tool, and I think there was somebody online that said, well, tools have soul to them, and it's like I remarked in one of the videos, I don't know about soul, but some of these tools have memories behind them. That Davis & Wells was probably used in the industrial era of the country. It was probably used during World War I or II, or maybe both, who knows. And these tools have got a history to them, and I don't like to see them destroyed. So like that one I picked up cheaply, I rebuilt it. It was probably one of the more costly restorations that I've done. And then recently, if you took a look, I restored a Morgan Chicago vise, and I've given you part 1 of part 2. I'm still waiting for the jaws to come in. But they have memories. I have a vise I keep repeating that was, or not, I'm sorry, it wasn't a vise, it was an anvil. It's been handed down through my family, and it's got a date stamp of, I think it's 1899, I think. 1899 on the bottom of it. You can't make out who the manufacturer was anymore, but it's still durable, it still works. Just because it's something that was handed down, I'll never get rid of it. It's still functional, I still use it. And then I have a brand new vise, and that's one that my wife bought me as a present. So of course that's got memory attached to it, because she saw that I liked using an anvil and on projects, and so she bought me a bigger, better one. So I put the two of them side by side. And so, I have other tools. I had a Craftsman toolbox for a while. I wouldn't have gotten rid of it. My son gave it to me. It toppled over on him. The drawers were busted. Then I came across a good Homac one at a garage sale. I bought it. My son needed more tool storage. I said, well, hey, come get back the Craftsman, But each time I walk out to that Craftsman I was using it, I'd think, hey, I wonder what he's up to. And so all these tools, you have associated memories with them, and some of them are new, some of them aren't new. Personally, I like restoring, the older stuff if I can get it inexpensively, because to restore it to its original condition sometimes can cost you. So I have to take a look at what somebody wants for it in relation to what it's going to take for me to get it back to that original condition and make sure that it's worth what I'm doing so I get my money back. Okay, so that's enough rattling. So we're sitting here this morning, Southern California, having coffee. Just a tiny bit of wind, not enough to distort my microphone on my phone. And it's a nice day out compared to what the other days have been like. It's got a little gentle breeze, it's nice and cool. It's a good time for a shop project. So I have a multitude of projects up when time allows that I need to do for customers and other people. So I'm going to blow all that off today. I thought about this last night, and somebody texted me and say, hey, any chance you can go over, sorry, here comes the wind. Anyway, what somebody asked, is there any chance you can go over, maybe you can make a tool holder or something, but can you go over some do's and don'ts and how you use your Mig welder and clamps and what kind of wire and all this stuff? And it's like, well, there's no right or wrong answer to anything, but I thought, well, it would be a fun project today, and it's a quick project. We can make, call it metal art tool holder, not something that'll go in your toolbox. What I have laying around is I've got a ton of horseshoes, I've got railroad spikes. We'll use those. Now the other project is to make a sign for somebody. We'll do that, I think, on another video. But on this one, we'll have some fun. I'm going to change the camera around right now. We're going to go into the shop part of this, which is my garage, because for MIG welding and stuff, I don't want to be out in the wind. And we'll go over the setup, and we'll do it quickly, and we'll make something. All right? Follow me. That way. Okay, I'm inside the garage right now, which is where I do all my metal work. Now, I keep things in like a small L relating to my welding because I want everything like within reach and close to me. So this has got the longest set of cords. This is the oxyacetylene setup right here. Then I have my Miller 211 and I have my Hypertherm plasma cutter. There's the cart. I got all my horseshoes and stuff there. Here's my new Homec tool chest. I fit that in right next to everything so I can just stand and reach for a tool if I need it. I have a drill press right here, a little alleyway I can get right to it if I need to. And then I have my welding table right here. And I have my my bench grinder right here with a wire wheel on it. There's my magnets and hammers. There's a vise, a big one. It's an Olympia 5-inch. And here I've got 2 anvils. There are the 2 anvils, maybe a little bit better shot. There's the old one before the 1900s, and there's my new one. And then I got some miscellaneous crap all over the place. But this is the area that we're going to use. I'm going to clean it real quick. I'll get things set up and we'll get on making that tool holder thing. Okay, now, through garage sales, I've gotten an assortment of angle grinders. There's a large one over this way. I don't use it that much unless it's big projects. I like these little 4.5, 5-inch angle grinders. I have an assortment of angle grinders I got from garage sales cheap. Here's a DeWalt. I had to make a handle for it. That's on a previous video. There's another newer DeWalt. There's a Makita and there's a Milwaukee. Which one's the best? I like them all. I like how the Milwaukee is, but I have a 60 grit belt on that one. I think this one's got 80. This one's got a cutoff wheel. This one's got masonry blade, like a diamond blade on it for cutting lots of other kinds of materials. It's one that if I ruin it, whatever, I paid like $8 for it and then made the handle. These, I don't try to put that much of a strain on the motor. Anyway, those are the tools we're going to use. There's no right or wrong way to start one of these projects, but the first thing that I'll do, we'll make, I think we'll have fun. We're going to make a blue wrench tool holder. I will give it to my son because he's starting to get into more and more, you know, welding. So, you know, maybe we'll teach him a couple things as we go that I've learned. Anyway, no right or wrong way to start. Give me a moment. Let me get a horseshoe in this vise and I'll show you what we'll do first. Okay, what we're going to do first is remove these nails. That's what the cutoff blade's for on here. Okay? We're going to use this one as the base. So I'm not going to do anything else to it, but I'm going to wire brush on my benchtop grinder and just clean it up and get it ready for welding, which I'll show you in a sec. That's one. Okay, so that'll be the base. Now we got to figure out, you know, I made it out of a heavier duty horseshoe that I had in my pile. So that would be good for the base. So now we need to do another one like this. We don't need to cut it. So we'll grab another one here. Just grabbing one at random. This is just a fun project. Put it in. That's it. Now, I'm going to take both of these over to my wire wheel. Okay, that took about less than 1 minute. I mean, to cut those nails off and to take a wire wheel to them and clean them up ready for weld. So this one right here, the big one, is going to be the base of our tool. Now I'm going to wing this, okay? So if it turns out crappy, we still had fun, right? This one I'm going to use for his body, And the cool part is there's nail holes here where the forces, where the nails went through into that part of his hoof, the bone part or whatever. I can use that for my alignment tool by just going like this and saying, well, I know that that is going to be spot on centered. So this right here will be the base. Here's his body. Now, I did take, there's a previous video where I showed you with these old railroad spikes where you can cut them and then you can turn around and heat this with an oxyacetylene and you can bend them or you can leave them straight. It's your choice. I kind of like them bent a little bit. So this will make, we're going to go wire brush this so our surface for welding is going to be clean so the welds actually adhere real well. But we're going to put that right there. That's going to be his body. Okay? So I like to cut up and get everything prepped before I go over the welding part as best I can. It just makes things easier. You're just kind of grabbing, welding, and having fun. So now we have that, but we need arms. So what I did is I just took a horseshoe. Doesn't matter, just grab one and approximate. You don't have to be exact unless you want to where the middle is. And with your angle grinder and that cutoff blade, I just cut it in half. And now I got half. Well, that's cool. So what I like to do on the tips of these is I'll secure it in my vise. I'll show you in a minute. And bend them. So it looks like you got his hands are coming up like this rather than just like this. It just adds a little bit of artistic touch to it. So let me pan back. Let's do that. Let's get everything ready. Okay, so just remember, because people will bend these the wrong way, just think about you want his hand so it's like this. If you go the other way, it doesn't look right. So in the vise, this is the flat side, and I'm going to bend it that way. I'll show you why. Nice part is you don't have to heat anything up. Use a real hammer though. Okay, let's take it off. Here's the flat smooth part. Here's the other part. So we did 2 of these. This will be his hands. Okay, so throw those over there. Let's go back to the workbench. Here I got my Milwaukee out with that 60 grit. Why would I use that instead of my bench grinder? Well, I like it because it's fast, it's easy, and I can do some shaping. With a pair of snips, good heavy duty ones, or whatever, you could use a jigsaw with a metal blade. You can cut these teardrops out of some scrap sheet metal like I did, but the edges look funky. So we're going to clean it up real quick. And I'll show you how we're going to do it. Here it is. I do the outside, and then I do the inside, and then I shape it. That's it. Each one of these little operations so far has probably taken me less than 1 minute. You can do this very quickly, but I like to get my parts together like I said. So we'll throw it up there. Now what we need next is we're going to need a good sized nut. We're going to make a hat for him, and the nut will be like the top of the hat kind of. So let me look, I'll be right back. So I dug around and I found a good sized bolt. That'll be the top of his hat. Now I've got some pipe that I welded to my welding table. So let me show you real quick. Okay, it's right there. Now, I use a pair of pliers and I use a ball peen hammer. You can use another kind of hammer if you want to. These are the Harbor Freight specials, so these are what I use. And I take the hat over this piece of pipe that I have welded here, and I use the round part. That's it. Now if you bent it too much, you just set it on the bench and hit the top of it here and it'll bend it back. Okay. Now what's nice about the Miller 211 auto set, says what gauge wire am I using? Well, I got some 035 right now. I'm just going to go ahead and use it up on projects that I usually don't use 035, but it's okay for right now. And then the next dial wants to know what's the thickness. I'm going to set it for this is 1/4 inch, this range. I'm going to set it for right in there right now. I know it'll probably be a little hotter than I need. It's okay. I can actually tweak this and turn it down. If you're not sure what Miller does, my toolbox is in the way, sorry. On the inside over here, it gives you exact settings for whatever gauge sheet metal, whatever thickness metal you're using. There's a chart. You just follow it from from the left side over, top down, and it tells you exactly how to set these two knobs. I've used the machine enough, I know how to set it. I also have this set up for 220. You can also change the cord adapter to 110. I use 120. You can use your dryer in your garage or whatever, and if you don't want to do that, then use the 110. It works. It's nice because it has that adapter. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to turn my gas tank on. I'm going to make sure when I pull that trigger, when I pull this trigger, that my gas doesn't fluctuate too much. I want it right around 22, somewhere right in there. I know I'm going to get comments. Other people use it lower, other people use it higher. That's what I use. It works for me. So give me a sec to get set up and then we'll start having some fun. Okay, here I have it set up. We're about ready to weld. Grounding clamp. I got my torch ready. Now I use these Harbor Freight magnets. They're cheap, but they work really good as a third hand when you're welding or you're doing things where you don't have something to hold it with. So I like keeping my bench open. I bring this to the edge so that I can see that, hey, I'm pretty much nice and parallel. I'll set this in where those nail holes were for the shoes because I know that this will center it. And now my metal's clean, we did all the prep work, and we're ready to weld. Okay, so take away the magnet. Now I like to really make these things sturdy, but it also helps you practice your weld. So put it in a position that you like, no matter what it is. I'm just going to leave it like this on the magnet, and we're going to do the back side. There you go. Now, another thing is you should have a good pair of rawhide gloves, okay? I have these. They're really good so that you don't get burned, but the other thing about these, they're also real stiff. I have this lighter pair. It has some leather on the fingertips. I use these, probably not the best idea, but I like them because they got more dexterity and I feel more comfortable with them. Anyway, here it is. We got it welded up. So let's move forward. So what do you want to do next? Well, let's do the body of this thing next. We want to put this guy about like that. We should be able to lay him flat. And we're going to approximate, we're doing this kind of quick, but we're going to approximate where the middle is, which is about right there. Okay, our metal's clean and everything. Now I got the little magnets to help me. Okay. And put another one maybe here. Now I'm going to hold this and we're going to weld a tack weld. Now, I did more than a tack weld, and now it's welded on there. You really these magnets, flip it over, and remember, like I said, you can practice your welds, you can do overkill. Now you can weld on both sides right here. See that? Those are perfectly nice welds, okay? So the more you do this, the better you're going to get. I'm going to pause it. I'm going to get this thing over into some water, make it a little easier to handle, and I'll be right back. Now what you want to do here I'm using my magnets right here as a third hand, and I stacked two little ones, and then I put those bent arms up here, and I kind of leveled them out, make sure that it's where you want it. You can adjust the magnets, go higher, whatever you want to do. I'm going to bring them up a little bit higher, but this is how I build the scaffolding or bridging to hold them, and the magnets hold them well so that you're able to MIG weld them. Hang on a sec and we'll weld them. Here's another shot. I took a couple railroad ties, got rid of those horseshoes over there, and this actually raised the arms up more, which is where I want them. So now we're going to weld them in place. Well, I got carried away and welded them up, so it doesn't matter. Generally, I tack weld them. Be careful, remember, this sucker is hot. So if you take it off, the reason for the tack welds is if there's something I didn't like hey, his arm's a little too high, I take ball peen hammer. There's the arms. Now we're going to finish the welding. Turn it around. I'm going to do the back side because I grind this and it looks nice and uniform. Alright, there you go. You can weld under them if you want to. I don't. We're cool with that. Now let's move on. So I think we'll do the hat next. Now this is a weird angle. I like to have everything in a perfect spot when I weld. I don't do overhead and stuff like that very well. Want to, no need to. A lot of these little projects I can just move them around very easily like you're seeing. So put some magnets, support it so it doesn't move around on me. Here's that hat. I'm just going to hold it there like this and tack weld it real quick. Oops. Alright, so now there's that nut we're going to make for like his, the bowl part of his hat. I just set it over that little tack weld that I did. I drilled a hole through this so that when I set it on there and I weld, it immediately attaches to that railroad tie because this is thin and you'll burn the hell out of it trying to do it the other way. So it's just a way to do it simple and quick. Now I'm going to fill this with weld. Now I'm going to leave it like that and I'm going to go run it under the water and I'll be right back and then we'll continue and I'll show you a couple ways you can really touch this stuff up. Alright, ran it under water, now I'm back. So I don't like all these little bumps and all this weird stuff, and I want to touch it up a little bit. Well, now we're going to go back to the angle grinder here. This is the Milwaukee with the 60 grit. Let's touch it up. Okay, less than 5 minutes, maybe several minutes. I'll probably shorten this when I edit it. Nobody wants to watch you sand and grind. It's kind of boring. But here we have it. Now, let's play around, make a tool holder out of it. I'll be right back. I got to think of a couple of ways to do this and what I want to use. All right, I had time to think about it. I went and got an old wrench. I think I'll have some fun. I'm going to give this to my son when we're done because he's got this thing online. It's called Blue Wrench. It's people that follow him regularly, him and Snap-on Junkie and a few others. So I went and got an old wrench, painted it blue. So I'm going to weld it on here. I'll kind of figure out how to do it about like that maybe. Look at that, nice little circular welds. It looks good. Turn it around. There we got him holding a blue wrench, and here's a tool holder or something. That's kind of cool. We'll figure that out, right? Well, let's go. I'm going to go figure out what color to paint it or whatever, and I'll be right back. Okay, this is the tail end. The project was, kind of fast once we figured out what we were going to do. So this is our blue wrench dude. Took an old wrench, painted it blue. The rest of it I used some paint that I had laying around. It's textured paint. But you use the other side of it, kind of a gimmicky thing. Pliers in there, I don't know, something like this. You can do a couple things because I made it big enough here. You can put multiple tools in here. It's not going to tip over because it's almost counterbalanced because of the bigness here in the base and just the way it's done. So it's not going to tip over. You want to have some more fun, get a couple of bolts, get a rod, and you can make set of testicles, penis, whatever you want to do, and weld them up like this. Hot dog cooker without all this stuff. I did a video on it. Been selling quite a few of them actually. It goes in spurts. I sold one lady at work, bought about 6 or 8 of them. So anyway, they're fun. And they're inexpensive, I mean, to make. It's a novelty gimmick thing, but they do work on a barbecue. Anyway, back to this. Here's the blue wrench. And just as for the fun of it, I did a red wrench. So I'm going to post a couple of pictures right now and show you the red wrench. Alright, hope you got a kick out of the pictures. And hey, General Red Wrench, I am not afraid of you. I could care less what you think, what you post, or anything else. So, you know, you're a troll, and you posted your crap on my website, so I figured turnabout's fair play. Okay, we took a shot at General Red Wrench. We had a little bit of fun. That concludes this. It's like a how-to. You did have some fun, make some blue wrench guys. Or you can contact me. I went down to the hardware store and I got some blue paint, and the guy down there, I had a picture of what I was doing, and he laughed and he said, "How much you want for one?" I said, "I don't know, give me like 12 bucks or so." He goes, "I'll give you 15 bucks. And I said, "Okay." So I came home and I made a couple of them. I'm going to keep this one for Justin. It was the first one I made. The other one, you know, I'll sell to him, 15 bucks. I'll pick it up on my way running around today. All right, folks, have a good day. I'm rattling. Give me a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I'll do more soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.